I'm going to give you some yes/nos. Ready? Was President Obama born in the United States?
Yes.
Did Vince Foster commit suicide?
No. I mean, yes.
Wow. She's really gone Trump.
No.
Yes.
Yes,
You
have
gone
Trump.
Excuse me. Yes, he did.
If Donald Trump asked you if he should keep talking about these things like that, would you say yes or no?
I don't think he talks about where President Obama was born. He hasn't done that in quite a few years. And Vince Foster was sort of like a footnote to the real issues of the 1990s, which is he's responding in kind to Hillary Clinton saying he's not good for women. He's a sexist. He's a misogynist. And he's responding in kind.
What does that have to do with saying Vince Foster might not have committed suicide? What's the connection?
What I'm saying is the 1990s, the main thing he's talking about is Bill Clinton and women in the 1990s.
Right.
And you have a lot of young people now Googling Paula Jones and $850,000. The last time I didn't sexually harass someone in my workplace, I didn't pay them $850,000. So I think what people are going to focus on is that this was a man in power, and he was having affairs with subordinates in the White House and sexually harassing a subordinate. He lost his, look, the man lost his law license in the state of Arkansas. He was the governor, and the president lost his license to practice law.
Are you concerned about him going to these places?
Of course. To me, it's ludicrous that we are in 2016, given all the issues facing this country, home and abroad, we are going to have a national election about Bill Clinton in the 1990s. I hope not.
It won't be.
Because if I thought the state of the Republican Party was pathetic, as I do now, it will take it to a whole other level.
But it won't be, Dan.
If the centerpiece of our campaign in the fall is this.
But even Mr. Trump said recently, I just gave a speech on, I believe the speech was about guns in Washington State, and he said nobody covered it. They only covered what I said about Bill Clinton. And that's fair.
Kellyanne, let me ask you this question. These are just a couple facts, right? One of which was that Bill Clinton was impeached over his affair with Monica Lewinsky. These issues were all litigated in the 1990s. By the time he left office, you had Democrats winning in the midterm election in 1998, gaining seats. Almost unprecedented. And then him exiting the office with an approval rating north of 60% after Republicans made a crusade about this. How is it possibly politically savvy to relitigate something that didn't work the first time now and try to relitigate it 20 years later?
Oh, it's totally different now. First of all, John, let me just say for the record, I hope the campaign is fought on issues. But so far, I'm invited on TV every day. Nobody's asked me to compare the health care plans of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. So let's be fair. This is what people are covering now. And I think that Donald Trump continues to just steal news cycles away from Hillary Clinton. She's explaining more than she's campaigning. I would ignore Donald Trump if I were Hillary Clinton. Right. They simply cannot afford to.
Well, I think with her
in the polls. But on your question about comparing, Bill Clinton as a sitting president with a good economy and peace abroad relatively, and now Hillary Clinton, who's not the president, I think it's a really weak response for her today to say, in the 1990s, we, all of a sudden it's the royal we. She's been using her president sparingly yet strategically for a year. It wasn't even in her announcement video. It wasn't even on the stage with her. And yet now it's the royal we. We created 23 million jobs. We reform welfare. People aren't going to buy that. She wasn't the president. She was the president's wife.
The president's motto is, stop us before we cover sex again.
Can I ask you, Kellyanne, a question?
Yeah,
yes.
please. Oh, please do.
With all due respect.
I'm not taking it with all due respect. So listen, I agree that this Trump tactic will jostle the Clinton campaign, which is not nothing, short-term tactically, kind of throw them off, not like kind of entirely understand how to deal with Trump. But honestly, like, what voters is he appealing to with that message? Maybe consolidating the hard right, which again, if he has to do that in late May, that's problematic, including trying to build a fundraising army in late May. But who's he speaking to with that?
I think several groups. Let me say, I hope eventually he gets her on health care. He gets her on the fact that she's been in public life for 30 years, and she's done nothing to improve the lot of women. She's improved her own lot. She got $21 million in 1 year alone. She got millions of dollars to give speeches. She's not even that interesting to listen to. What in the world did they pay for? You can get that for free, and nobody seems to want to listen to it. They want to listen to Donald Trump. So let's force a two-way conversation on abortion. Let's show who's really extreme, who's for partial birth abortion, sex selection abortion. I hope he does all of that.
You think he's going to be able to prosecute that?
No, he's going to be able to do that.
He's got a ridiculous record on abortion.
Let me answer your question.
Yeah.
There are people, you know what this also does? It reminds people how long the Clintons have been around.
Yeah.
And that's really a not so subtle point here. They've been around so long, and you ask yourself, you're promising to do all these things, Hillary Clinton. What have you done?
Okay, I will say, hold on one second. I will say, because we didn't book a Democrat in this segment, I'm not here to carry her water, but I think she has done some stuff to help the lives of women.
She ought to talk about it. She said she's talking about it.
Let me ask you this. I want to ask this. Paul Ryan, I have reason to believe he might be on the precipice of endorsing Donald Trump.
I know
what
nothing.
Do you know about that?
I've got nothing to report. I know that just today or in the last 24 hours.
A little smile on your face, though, is conveying a lot of...
No smile. I'm just generally my disposition.
Yeah, you're a happy man. Yeah. So you're very close to him?
Yes.
Will you be disappointed if your friend Paul Ryan endorses Donald Trump? You will be. Are you trying to talk him out of it?
I'm not going to talk about my conversation. I talk with any political leader.
What would be the case?
I think all Republican leaders should think twice about endorsing someone who is trafficked in racism and sexism and misogyny, and is not a conservative.
He met with him last week, and he said we share a conservative agenda, and he seemed like a really nice guy.
He said that he's a great personality, and they had a good conversation, and yet. He still withheld the endorsement.
Do you die a little bit inside every time one of your friends
endorses? I'm not going to comment on my internal feelings.
I
want to come back to something Kellyanne said.
No, wait.
This is not like Senor on the couch. This is, you know.
It actually is a little bit like that.
When you see Rick Perry, whose views of Donald Trump.
I think it's pathetic.
Whose views of Donald Trump were the same. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Rick Perry had the same views as you of Donald Trump. Now Rick Perry has endorsed Donald Trump.
He's used stronger language to me. He called him a cancer on the Republican Party.
Right. So if you feel that that's pathetic on the part of Rick Perry, why would it not be equally pathetic if Paul Ryan were to turn around and endorse Donald Trump?
So Paul's thinking on this, as he's articulated, is he thinks he can actually sway and educate Trump to be a more responsible candidate in the months ahead, which will help House Republicans. If he's able to get Donald Trump to endorse the House Republican agenda and act like an adult, that's his argument. By the way, I'm skeptical.
How do you think Donald Trump's going to react to that kind of paternalistic attitude?
The way
Paul
he's
Ryan?
reacted all along. However, I give Speaker Ryan a ton of credit. I certainly hope he endorses his party's nominee. And I agree with Speaker Ryan that if you don't like anything, instead of just standing outside and stomping your feet and harumphing on the glass, go inside and try to help it.
So can I? Just the distinction with Rick Perry, this is important because there are more politicians who are like Rick Perry than Paul Ryan. Rick Perry not only called him a cancer on the party and not only endorsed him, but he's basically campaigning to be Trump's vice president. And I think this sort of makes Trump's point. I think Trump has validated his thesis of the race, which is the Republican establishment is craven. They'll do anything for opportunity or anything for fear of missing out. And Rick Perry epitomizes
got less than 30
that. That's
seconds,
not what Paul Ryan's trying to do.
Is that true of the 11 million voters who supported Donald Trump?
We got 30 seconds. I don't know when you'll be back next. We're going to Vegas. We're putting all our money on who for Donald Trump as running mate?
Ooh, I think there's a good shot.
One name.
Who should we put the money on?
I'll go out on a lark. I'll say Tom Cotton.
Tom Cotton. Oh, wow. All the money on your friend.
I'm not putting all the money in.
Who's your money on?
Bob Corker.
Really?
Corker.
Mike Pence. You need a governor who was a congressman.
Corker.
Dan.
Corker.
Never Trump.
And of course,
Kellyanne.
I love always Newt.
Dan never Trump. Kellyanne. Trump forever.
I'm always Senior. He's going to star in some Hillary ads.